Hey guys, I'm going to apologize in advance because this is going to be another one of those somber videos. It's going to be a little rambly and I have some raw emotions, so forgive me for that if you can. I just came back from a funeral. It was my cousin's funeral, and it was devastating on a lot of different levels. So I found out 36 hours ago that my cousin had cancer and she was in the hospital and she was near death. And sure enough, Uh, last night, I got a text saying that she had passed away and the funeral was going to be the following day. And I had no idea that my cousin was sick. Apparently, she had had cancer for 2 years, including last year when I saw her at her sister's wedding. She had had cancer at that time. I had no idea. She didn't look like she was sick. And this was by design. My cousin apparently only wanted a very small number of people to know that she was sick, and I get it that a lot of people have their reasons for doing that. But one thing that really made me angry, it was that one person that everybody deliberately kept the truth from was my mother. My mother, my cousin's aunt, only found out that my cousin was sick by accident when her brother uh, unintentionally spilled the beans. And when my mother confronted my cousin's father on the issue, he said, as a rationale for not telling my mother, well, it's because you don't know how to keep secrets. You're a blabbermouth. I've never liked my uncle, and now I like him even less. In fact, I despise him. He's always been a bully. He's always been a bully to my mother. And so it was just so shocking to hear this news. Now, I wasn't close to my cousin at all. In fact, to be quite frank, I didn't care for her as a person. I thought she really wasn't a particularly good or pleasant person, but nonetheless, she was very, very young. In fact, she was less than a month shy of her 35th birthday, and she was essentially at the prime of her life. I mean, she had a home, she had a husband, she had a 5 year old little boy, and but then everything started to go south 2 years ago. Now I know that 2 years ago she did have a tragedy. She got pregnant, and the baby was stillborn, which was devastating for everybody, of course. And apparently, sometime shortly after that, that's when she found out that she had cancer. Now, this was something that was not told to everybody. And so that was a double whammy for her. And apparently, she fought for a really long time, but in the end, her body gave out. And I went to the funeral today, and it was a surprisingly short service, but it was devastating. Everybody was crying. And I don't consider myself an overly emotional person, but when her husband went to the podium and spoke, and he said, I don't know how I'm going to live without her, I almost broke. And then we went to the cemetery and we buried my cousin. We took turns shoveling on dirt on her coffin. My cousin is Jewish, and that's part of the Jewish burial tradition. And we were going to go to the Shiva immediately preceding the service, but I was riding with my mom and my brother and my dad, and my mom was like, I've had enough. I can't, I need to go home. She was just emotionally spent, which I definitely understood. So they're going to have another Shiva tomorrow and on Sunday, and I'm probably going to go to the one on Sunday. And yeah, it's crazy. I have a lot of mixed emotions. I'm sad, but I'm also angry at my uncle, my cousin's father. I felt terrible for my aunt and my cousin's sisters, and especially my cousin's 5 year old little boy who was jumping around and smiling and laughing. he had no idea what was going on around him, and now he's gonna grow up without his mother. And this is the third person in their 30s who I know who has passed away just this year. So I guess the lesson I learned from this is keep your loved ones close today because they might not be there tomorrow. Take care, you guys. Stay safe.